This call is now being
Global
recorded.
Telling. Usted tiene una llamada prepagada de
Gary.
un preso recluido de la prisión estatal de Cella, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el 5. Gracias por utilizar Global Tel Link.
Hello. Gary?
Hey.
Hey, how's it
Yes,
going?
sir. Everything's going good, man. How about yourself?
Yeah, I can't complain. Trying to get in these last phone calls. Before the end of the year, and go ahead and bring in the new year with some new phone calls. And first of all, I want to go ahead and thank you and for tuning in and taking time out of your day, to reach out to us. And today, the topic for today, I want to go ahead and get into exactly what does SNY mean, and the reason I'm bringing this up as a topic is because recently somebody from Florida put a comment on one of the videos, and they didn't know what SNY was, so I want to go ahead and get some some feedback or some background as far as what you know about SNY.
No, absolutely. And thank you for having me. Shout out to everybody who's tuning in. Thank you for supporting the network, man. Thank you for supporting us, and I appreciate it. And yeah, man. I've noticed a lot of people they get confused with that concept in California, right? You got SNY and you got active. It's like two different prisons within the prison system. As far as I know, I came to prison in 1998. Back then, the SNY yard, it was referred to as a PC yard, which was protective custody. And back then, when I first came in, I think there was a total of, I'm going to say 3 yards, not prisons exactly, just like yards within the prison that were in the whole state of California. They were called PC yards back then, protective custody yards. And those yards were for like high profile cases. They were for for the rapists, for the child molesters, all those people who couldn't walk the line. You know what I mean? And you had a mixture of guys who were couldn't run active, got in trouble with whatever gang they were running with, and politics wise, and they could no longer be on those yards, so they went into protective custody, and they put them on those protective custody yards. Over the years, as politics and prison changed and started to change with the eras, so to speak, with the times, a lot of guys who were getting into trouble, running up drug debts or getting caught up with politics, they all started to check in, so to speak. That's what they call it, checking in, going and saying, what, I don't want to be part of this lifestyle no more, and, I'm done. So as the years went by, more and more people started to become PCs, because that was the term back then. SNY barely came about, I'm going to say about 3 years ago. 3 to 4 years ago, they changed the terminology from PC to SNY, and basically it's it's you saying, what, I don't want to be, I need protective custody. I don't want to be part of this active gang member criminal mentality lifestyle in prison anymore. So you're like, what, I don't want to be a part of this. I'm done with this. I'm walking away from that lifestyle, and you come over here. And nowadays when you come over here, it's like it's become the normal in prison. Like there is the SNY yards outnumber the active yards, and tremendously. You got whole prisons that are SNY. Like Tehachapi, I know Tehachapi is one of them. CMC is another one, and you got a lot of them, and you got like every major prison in California has an SNY yard. If not one, they got 2. So it's become the norm. It's become the norm. A lot of guys, they come to prison, they get caught up in whether it be the politic lifestyle, the drug addictive lifestyle, or maybe their crime that they committed is not how do I say it? It's not welcomed with all those active guys, and they have no choice but to come over here. I mean, well, actually, they do have a choice. They can stay there and get killed, or they can come over here and they can live. They can be okay. Because as we come over here, I mean, there is a lot of SNY gangs on this side that they still try to push that politic realm. Like if you're a rapist and if you're a child molester, they still look upon that, and you still there's a high chance that you might get hurt. But that depends on what yard you go to. Like the SNY yards that I've been on, which was Calipat in here, it's like, nothing's really happening to those guys per se. It's like it's your choice. If you're gonna come to these yards, it's like, okay, you got a choice. You want to be a fuck up, or you want to change your life around. You know what I mean? And in my case, I came over here for a reason because I wanted to change my life around. I didn't want to be no more part of that lifestyle. I needed help with my addiction. I was done. Like I didn't want to be a part of that no more, politics wise, and that whole active gang lifestyle. And and I came over here and I changed my life around. So the concept of SNY, that's all what it is. The bottom line is just you saying, you know what, I'm done. I don't want to be a part of that, and you come over here. But a lot of guys who do come over here, they fail to realize that these yards, were built for those guys originally who couldn't be on the active yards. You know what I mean? Which were child molesters, rapists, things like that. People who killed kids. You know what I mean? And so these yards were created.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
And a lot of guys come over here and they forget that concept. It's like wait a minute. They you had a choice, not to come over here, but you chose to come over here. So, you still come over here with that mindset, like, fuck these guys, fuck, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. It's like, it's pointless, because they can't go nowhere else. Those people who are in here for those horrendous crimes, they can't go nowhere else. There's no other yard. There's no third yard where they can go to. This is it. Unfortunately, I don't condone that. I don't, in my belief system, I don't believe in that. I think it's wrong. But I'm not one who's going to, I'm not going to act upon that belief like I used to in the past, because I know that once I said, you know what, I'm done, I knew what I was going into. I knew what I was going to be around. Who was going to be living next door to me, per se, and but I still have a thing like, I don't check paperwork or nothing. I stopped checking paperwork. I don't do that, because, that's still criminal belief, gang mentality. But, if I do find somebody or hear or find out, I kind of I don't stop talking to those individuals, but I kind of just keep my distance, because who am I to judge? I committed a horrible crime myself, but that's the whole concept of SNY in the active side. Guys who need protection.
And thank you, Gary. For clarifying on what exactly SNY means in the state of California, and that is true. Back in the days in the 90s or even the early 2000s, yeah, there was only a PC, and I do remember when SNY did become a thing when they featured it on National Geographic. I think I want to say on Lockdown Raw or one of those documentary channels. You know what? And I don't want to forget, because you're always bringing in the huge family support. And definitely, want to go ahead and give a big shout out to your family. And I'm gonna go ahead and read up the names on here that we currently have on the chat. First on is gonna be M Star Media and Mad Max 408. We also have Melissa, and she puts hi cousin, sending you much love, miss you, with 2 little hearts. And then we also got Reggie, and they put a hi brother, Albert and I So Albert and them, they're listening, and your mom is listening at home too. So and they also put love you and hope to see you soon. So man, definitely, Gary does have that huge family backing and family support. And then I know if I was in that type of situation, that would definitely mean a lot to me, because when you've been down so long, people tend to forget about you, out of sight, out of mind, and in this case, it looks like the bonds between you and your family have gotten stronger.
No, absolutely. I just want to give a shout out to my family, my cousin, my sister, my brother-in-law, my mom, everybody. I love you guys. Thank you for your support. M-Star Media, man, you're always on. Thank you. Man, Max, man, thank you for your support, man. You guys are, man, constant, and I appreciate it, man. Everybody who's listening, thank you so very much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it, man. It means a lot. It means a lot to me, and it means a lot to all the guys, man. It really does.
And then also, I don't want to forget, because there's also more. We got Marlene on the chat. Always support. Marlene's always representing right here. She's always Team Gary right here, all day every day. So let me see some of the message she's put on here. So let me see, who else do we have in here. We also got Angel. Can't forget about Angel. Angel, he's a huge supporter, always coming in. As a matter of fact, we had him. I'm not sure if I mentioned it to you or not, but we are actually also getting live calls. So if there's anybody interested in calling in, I'll go ahead and post the number up on the chat, and go ahead and speak to Gary. Or if you have any questions, feel free to jump on the phone and we get clarification on any questions you guys have. All right, and I just put that phone number.
Absolutely, call in, man. Feel free. Anything on your mind, something interests you, you want, you got a question, call in, man.
There it is.
And another thing I want to say about the question, right? Because I know when I first came in, right, like when I was in the hole for those 3 months waiting to get cleared to come to an SNY yard, when you're active, they pump you with this whole idea, this whole belief, like it's lawless over there. People are hurting each other. There's no respect. There's none of that. So I remember when I was in the hole, I was preparing myself, working out every day, preparing myself mentally, like, man, I don't want to go in there and fight. I don't want to hurt nobody. But then again, like, man, I don't want nobody to take advantage of me, because I know once I allow somebody to take advantage of me, you're in prison, everybody's going to see it, and it's going to continue in a vicious cycle. But once I came over here, it was like the total opposite. It was like the respect was there, people were fucking, they were human beings, it wasn't, all bad, like,
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
Like, when I came over here, like, I didn't realize how many guys that I knew over here. You know what I mean? A lot of guys were like, damn, like, Gary, like, what the hell? Like, I didn't expect you to be over here, and I'm the same way. Like, fuck, I didn't expect you to be over here. And it was a trip. Like, I've been to 3 yards. And each yard that I went to, like, I've known a lot of people over the years, because I've been down a long time, and you meet a lot of people, and you get to know a lot of people, and it's reassuring, so to speak, because when you go to a new place and you don't know nobody, especially on the prison yard, it's like you're by yourself. You don't talk to nobody. You're walking in the yard, or you're in the day room just doing laps by yourself. But when you know somebody, it eases that. It takes all that, that anxiety, that tension, that worry away. When you see a familiar face, it's like, whoa, what's up? And it's just more welcoming, more inviting. So when I came over here, like, I was expecting this whole different thing, and it was just like the total opposite. Like, here it's like the respect is there. People are courteous. People, and it's just like it's what you make of it. Like I've always said, it's what you make of it. If you want to be a fucking knucklehead and look for trouble, you're gonna find it. You're gonna find it. But
le queda un restante de 60 segundos.
It's like now, like I get to do my time. Like I'm not living under anybody's thumb. I'm not following nobody's rules. Like I can do my time. Like I have a choice to do what Gary wants to do with his life, and I think it's fucking great. I think it's awesome. You know what I mean? My brother once told me, you're going to regret what you did. And the only regret I have is not coming over here sooner and making that change years ago. You know what I mean? Because the possibilities have been endless if I would have done this 10, 15 years ago. If I would have had the courage to walk away from that lifestyle and better myself. You know what I mean? That's probably the only regret I have of everything in all this.
Gary, and we're down to 15 seconds. If you want to go ahead and give us a call back, and then
I'll call you back.
We got more comments.
Absolutely.
The chat is on fire over here. We got Pomona Queen, and then Marlene put a message on here that she, Sapo, and little Gary are listening too. All right, I wanted to sneak that last comment in there. I'm trying to go through all these messages. As we go through this conversation, don't want to overlook anybody. And once again, really appreciate, you guys, tuning in and showing Gary this huge support. So right now, when he calls back, we'll go ahead and, continue with his feedback on SNY side. And I think, for me, if I were to go to prison, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, going to prison it sounds scary and it is scary. And then let alone, then you're going to have to go somewhere else where you're not used to, how things are run. So I think the biggest concern, when going over to the SNY side would be the unknown. You don't know what, you know how things run. Gary mentioned that, you don't want to be taken advantage of. So yeah, no, I think that would be like the biggest concern, not the unknown. Just a big question mark.
This call is now being recorded.
Link. Usted tiene una llamada prepagada de
Gary.
un preso recluido de la prisión estatal de Cella California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el 5. Gracias por utilizar Global Tel Link.
Hello, Gary.
Hello. Yes.
So, let me ask you. So, what I was saying right now, when the call got disconnected, I was mentioning to the audience that going to prison, it's scary, and then now going to the SNY side, it's scary, and it's just a big question mark. It's the unknown. What you're going to be dealing with. Mm-hmm. And obviously, I'm sure if I was in that type of situation, I would want to, if I were to be in that situation, I would want to be in the main line, and then I would want to parole from the main line because I would be coming out all solid and stuff, But obviously, not everybody has the luxury of coming home solid, with little quotation marks as they say. I'm sure when you made the decision to walk away, it wasn't an easy one because our whole lives we've been conditioned, and it's been embedded in our minds that telling is no good. You're gonna put your gang first and things of that nature. So when you did make that decision, to walk away, was it like over one day? Was it instant? What was the mindset, or what were you going through? Because I'm pretty sure, one moment you did want to do it, the next you didn't. So you were flip flopping, on what you wanted to do. But ultimately, you got to look out for number one, which would be yourself. And then I'm sure you're also thinking about, what the people around you are going to say about you, your family. I know you did mention, on your earlier or interviews that you have huge gang ties within your family. So you don't want to, let your family down. So, what were you thinking and what were you going through?
It wasn't easy. It was probably one of the most difficult things I've done in my life, because, my whole life I was conditioned and believed to act and behave and believe in this certain way, that gang criminal mentality, growing up, seeing it with my dad, my Nino, my uncles, my brother, my cousins, my aunts, like everybody within my family, just growing up in the heart of the neighborhood. You know what I mean? So, man, I wanted to be just like them. You know what I mean? Like, I looked up to all these. I saw what they had, and I wanted to be just like them. You know what I mean? Here they are, just, gang members, thugging it. You know what I mean? Doing it. Like, man, I want that. You know what I mean? And ultimately, yeah, there I was. Came to prison at 18 years old. I was on the active side for 18 years. Been in the shoe, did all this, did all that, you name it. You know what I mean? Politics-wise, running with the guys, and being one of the cool kids on the prison yard, and you know what I mean. And I've done all that, and then I can honestly say, my addiction got the best of me. You know what I mean? My dad passed away. When my dad passed away, man, it was like I just took a spiral, a turn for the worse. You know what I mean? To lose a parent in prison is difficult. You know what I mean? To lose any family member in prison is difficult. You know what I mean? Like I said before, you can't mourn properly. You can't grieve properly. It's difficult to grieve around, you know what I mean? To cry, to grieve, to be around anybody. You know what I mean? You go to visit. I mean, you can't. You can cry and visit. You know what I mean? But it's like, if you're on the active side, you can't do that. You know what I mean? Now over here, shit, yeah, you cry, be yourself. You don't get no judgment. But over there on the active side, you know what I mean? I couldn't cry in front of people. I couldn't go out to visit and cry with my family. You can't grieve properly. So, that did the next best thing. I was just, I used my addiction as my crutch, and started, just spiraling out of control. And, I was deep and over my head. I was so deep in my addiction, racking up debts, all over the prison yard. And it's just like, I paid off and here I go again, paid off, here I go again, paid off. It was a vicious cycle that never ended. You know what I mean? My family helped me out. My friends giving me a lot of money. I was out of control. I needed help, and I thought about it. You know what I mean? Especially when I was propositioned to supposedly clear my name. You know what I mean? To clean it up, so to speak. You know what I mean? And to go do something to somebody else, and I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to go hurt somebody because of what I was going through. My feelings, my thoughts. You know what I mean? And because of my addiction. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't want to go. I didn't want to go hurt somebody. Like, and that was the bottom line. I didn't want to go hurt somebody. This guy, I don't even know this guy. He never did nothing to me just because.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
I put myself in this jam because I wasn't courageous enough to seek the help that I needed at that time, and here I am, you know what I mean, and they want me to go hurt somebody? No, you know what I mean? So I thought about it. I thought about it for about 2 to 3 weeks. I weighed out the pros and cons, you know what I mean? What can happen, what might happen, what's not going to happen. I weighed out the pros and cons with my family. Who's going to cut me off? Who's going to talk to me? And I did all that, you know what I mean? And for 2 to 3 weeks, it was just in my head. All right, today's a day. 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 And then finally, early in the morning, I finally summed up enough courage to do it and walk away from that lifestyle. I mean, it's difficult to walk away from something that you only know. Like, that's the only thing I've ever known in my life. Was that. Was that lifestyle. It was like, I normalized it years ago. It was just a normal thing. It was just, who I was. And, but, when I walked away, I told myself, you know what? I'm not going to let this define me. I'm not going to let this type of lifestyle, me doing what I'm doing, define me. It's not going to define. This is not who I am. This is not who I want to be anymore. So I finally summed up the courage and I did it. And it's crazy because it was so hard to do it, but once I did it, it was such a relief. When they took me to the hole a couple hours later and they walked me into that cell by myself, it felt like a weight of bricks was just lifted off my shoulders. It was like, that whole drowning sensation and nobody was coming to save me. It's like it was over with. Like I could finally breathe. Like, fuck, I could just, I wasn't drowning no more. And it was just felt such a relief. It felt such a relief. And it was just like, damn, you know what I mean? And you know what I mean? Yeah, it was shameful at first seeing guys back in the hole that I knew. They're like, man, what's up, homie? What happened? And It's just like, it's shameful at first. But I said, you know what? I'm not gonna allow this to consume me. You know what I mean? I shouldn't be shameful about what I did. You know what I mean? This is the right thing for me. You know what I mean? It may not be the right thing for everybody else, but this is the right thing for me. So I mean, I went through the whole process. And as I mentioned earlier, I love my brother. You know what I mean? I love my brother. But at that time, I understand the way he was feeling and what he was thinking, and and like I shared before, he was mad at me. We didn't talk for a while, but we came around, and and our relationship is great. I love him. A lot of family members were disappointed. I will say that. But, a lot of them were like, no, we love you. You're like, I don't give a fuck about what happens in there. You're my family member. I love you. I care for you. And I just want the best for you. And to have that support and for it not to falter, it's a blessing. It's fucking, I'm grateful. I'm thankful for everybody who's come into my life and supported me. Like, thank you so very much because, I want to walk out of prison. I didn't have this mindset before. I want to walk out of prison when God opens those doors, and I want to at least say, I did this, I did that, something meaningful, something with substance. So when I get out there in the world, I can take it with me. And and God, He gave me that chance. He gave me that chance. I'm sober, 6 years sober. I changed my whole life around, got out of the gang. Left all that behind. I don't associate with none of those guys no more. I don't do that. And I'm on a whole other trip now in my life. I'm educating myself constantly, taking groups, classes, building new relationships. Good relationships. Right relationships. None with no criminal ties, no bullshit involved attached to it. And it's a blessing, man. It's great. But yeah, it wasn't easy. But I'm glad I did it though. It's probably like I can honestly say it's like one of the best things I did with my life in prison was to finally say, you know what? I don't want to do that no more. I'm calling it quits.
And let me ask you. Oh, you know what? Sorry. We have. Yeah. There's a comment on here from Reggie, and she and they put mom said she loves you. So huge support from your family right there, especially from your mom. Shout out to your mom.
Yeah.
And
I love you too, Mom.
Is there anything that you miss about the main line? Anything that you reminisce? Because obviously it's day and night. From the main line to the what I don't even know what they're called anymore. 50 yard SNY non-designated facility.
Yeah, they got so many names for it. They got so many acronyms and names and titles. But no, honestly.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
Honestly, now I don't knock nobody. Like I'm not gonna pass judgment. I do my very best not to knock anybody or pass judgment. Like if that's the way they want to live at the moment, okay, I understand. I've been there. But for me, speaking honestly, I have no regrets for what I did, and I don't miss nothing. I don't miss nothing over there. Nothing from it. Because being over there, living the way I was living, I look back and it was like, it was nothing good, bro. Like, there's, I think I can honestly say, I think the only good thing, right, that I got out on that side was getting my GED. That was it. Was getting my GED. I think that's the only good thing, and that was in 2006 when I got my GED. I just got out the shoe from being back there for all those years, and I was like, you know what? I got all this knowledge. I've been doing all this studying. I'm going to get my GED. And I did. That's probably like the only thing in the whole 18 years was getting my GED.
Wow, that's huge. That's the only thing you took from the mainline, your GED. I'm glad you got it. Speaking of GED, I got my GED when I was in Silmar on my last camp program. So that out of that situation, I'm glad I was able to get that. And I always figured that my GED wouldn't matter until like maybe like 3 years ago. I ended up getting a job in a hospital, and surprisingly, that's the only job that I've ever got that required proof of having a GED. So I'm glad I got it, because if not, then they wouldn't have hired me at the hospital. So So yeah,
Amen.
just when you
Amen.
think something is just a piece of paper, and years later, I mean, we're talking about like I got my GED in 1999. I got this job about 3 years ago. 20 years later, who would have thought that my GED was actually gonna benefit
Right.
me in some type of way. So I'm glad I did, out of my juvenile hall and my camp experience. I'm glad I walked away at least with my GED, and now it is definitely paying off, because I wouldn't want to go back to school at 40 years old, to get my GED. I'm glad I did it when I did have the opportunity.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hey, I was just telling myself the other day, like, I don't wish prison upon nobody. You know what I mean? Like, I don't. Like, I don't wish this upon nobody. I don't wish this, but if you do have to come to prison, right? It's like, I found it more liberating to do your time instead of doing somebody else's time. Instead of following somebody else's rule, living under somebody else's thumb. You know what I mean? Like, if you're going to come to prison, like, do your time. It's so much liberating. It's just so much, stress relieving. It's better for you mentally, emotionally. It's just like, do your time. Find what works for you, do it, and get the hell out of this place.
Yeah, and another thing that I want to point out, so I'm not like on this live and in this stream and this channel, I'm not pushing anybody, I'm not asking anybody, to walk away. Like the whole point of the channel is, just to, give people the heads up of, this is what you got coming your way.
Le queda un restante de 60 segundos.
If you keep on, making decisions like that, you end up, in prison for numerous years, and these are the dangers that could happen. One wrong mistake, or
Exactly.
the wrong person doesn't like you, and you're discarded like nothing.
No, absolutely. Yeah. I'm not promoting anybody to do it. It's your choice. It's like it was mine. You know what I mean? But just know, that that's what happens. When you live that lifestyle. Bad things happen. Bad things come from it.
Yeah, and then I know the call's about to cut off in the next 10 seconds or so. So if you could call me back, I have a question from the audience here that I want to go ahead and ask you, and then we could go ahead and continue with the conversation.
All right, I'll call you back.
Thank you. So my wife just walked in and asked me if I'm hungry. Perfect timing, because my tripas are telling me that I should probably put something in my stomach. I woke up not too long ago. I got off of work. I think I went to sleep at 4 a.m. or a little bit past 4 a.m. So I woke up kind of late. These shifts definitely mess with my sleep. Anyhow. So I'm gonna go ahead and read off the question right here that you put on here, Mad Max 408, and once again, I do see a few, quite a few people in the chat or on the live. If you guys are interested in calling in and possibly asking Gary a question or maybe some type of comment, the lines are open. So that is we're moving, the channel up to, the next phase, if you will.
This call is now being recorded.
Global usted tiene una llamada prepagada de
Gary.
un preso recluido de la prisión estatal de Centinela, Cella California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el 5. Gracias por utilizar Global Link.
Hello, Gary.
Yes, sir.
All right. So we have a question here from Mad Max 408, and he wants to know: did Gary talk about what made him go to the other side? Like was it a specific incident? Did he get into trouble? So just want to know, what would cause your that decision to to move over from the mainline over to to where you're at now.
Yeah, I got myself in a major drug debt that I could have paid if I really put, I think if I really, put my heart and effort to it, I'm sure I could have paid it, But it was just I could put myself in a position with that with the drug debt, and you know, I mean, they were like, don't worry about it. We need you to do this for us. They wanted me to go hurt somebody, I mean, in a major way, and I didn't want to do it. You know what I mean? I didn't want to do it. It's like at that point, it's like, you know what, we don't want your money, but we need you to do this for us, and I didn't want to do it. So that's when I said, you know what, I'm done. I don't want to hurt somebody.
And how much money are we talking about here? Was it like a large, substantial amount of money, or was it a?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It was a lot of it was over $1,200.
Oh, okay.
It was over $1,200.
All right.
Yeah.
But I mean, and if you think about it, I mean, like as far as like somebody out here, you know, so you know, $1,200, or like, am I gonna go, or I have the option of, you know, hurting somebody and possibly, you know, taking their life. To me, $1,200 just doesn't seem like enough, you know, enough of a debt, you know, to you know, go hurt somebody in that fashion. But obviously in prison,
that's
you
the way
know.
I saw it.
Yeah.
No, I didn't want to do it. And I didn't want to do it. You know, I know I had a problem. I know I was out of control with my addiction, and me going hurting somebody was not going to help me. It was not going to solve my problems that I was going through. I knew I needed help. I knew I needed to seek that help. So I was like, you know what? Like, no. So, you know, once I did it, you know, I mean, I did make the commitment. I got my life in order, got my addiction in order. I started to seek the help that I needed. And, you know, I was like, you know what? If I'm going to do this, I'm going to make sure I do it, that it's worth it. I'm not going to do it and then come over here and continue in that same behavior. You know what I mean? Running with criminals, gang members, and drug addicts and doing the same thing. Like, no. If I am going to do this, you know what I mean, I'm going to come over here, seek the help that I need, and I'm going to better my life, better myself, you know, emotionally, mentally, everything. And I did just that. You know what I mean? The first year, it was rough. You know what I mean? Because, you know, you're trying to navigate, so to speak. You know what I mean? First year over here, you're trying to navigate, but I'm glad that I had a lot of people that I knew already.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
I ran into a lot of guys from my past life who I was with on that side, and they were changing their life around. So, you know what I mean? You know, we've had conversations. We sat down. They guided me. They helped me. And I'm very fortunate for that, you know. So, you know what I mean? That's one thing I did. You know, I came over here and I got my life together. You know what I mean? And I'm grateful for that.
So, you know, once you made the decision that you were gonna you know, call it quits, at that moment, is that when you stopped, you know, utilizing, you know, drugs at that moment, or was it a gradual process for you to
It was a gradual process, like within the first year. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't promising people, you know what I mean, money from the streets, you know, money orders, all that stuff, PayPal, all that stuff. No, but like, you know what I mean, I would pay for it up front. You know, I go to the store, let me get a $20 paper, you know what I mean, let me get $30, you know. So that first year was rough. It was gradual. You know what I mean? It was you know, I was still getting high once in a while. You know, but I was keeping, you know, I wasn't getting out of hand, out of control. So that first year, yeah, you know what I mean, it was rough. You know what I mean? But after that, you know, I remember the last time, right? Okay, it was in 2000. I crossed over 2015, 2016, 2017. Like, I was clean for a year. But 2016, I was still getting high. I was clean for a year. I was clean for a whole year. I was going to groups. I was really starting on that journey. I was clean. And I decided, you know what? I'm going to reward myself. You know what I mean? I've been doing so good. I've been doing so clean. I'm going to stay away. And March 22nd, 2018, I got high. That was the last time that I stuck the needle, Mom. Last time I did any substances. And I remember doing it, right? And I was expecting some type of euphoria, some type of happiness, excitement. But for the first time in my life, I felt guilt. I felt shame. Like, man, what are you doing, dude? Like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? And that was the last time. That was the last time that I used any substance. March 22nd, 2018. That was the last time.
So you've been substance free, you know, for at least almost 5 years now, which is, you know, I want to go ahead and, you know, congratulate you on that, because, I mean, I do recall on our earlier conversations, you mentioning that you started, using substances like that at a very, very young age. So,
very young age.
You had been using them for the large majority of your life. So going out with something like that, it's definitely you have to deal with life, with reality, without any type of crutch and whatnot. So you have to start using the tools available to you, to handle real life problems, especially in prison, which are not the type of problems that we're used to out here on the street. So my hat, I tilt my hat, towards your success, and being able to accomplish that.
One day at a time, brother. I just take it one day at a time. That's all I can do. One day at a time.
That's right. And how has everything been right now? These last few months. What's the game plan for, when you go back to the see the parole board? So you should be back sometime before the end of next year, right? Back in front of the board.
Yeah. I calculated it. I'm looking at it the latest April 2025, the earliest November, December 2024. So I'm shooting for next year around this time. That's what I'm shooting for. With the new year coming up, I'm going to be transferring out. I'm going to be going to a lower level prison, and I'm looking forward to that. I never even gave this a thought before. I never thought that I would be in this position where I can go to such a lower level prison, because, my whole life has been chaotic in here, so to speak, and I'm really looking forward to that. I'm kind of nervous. Especially if they put me in a dorm setting. I haven't been in a dorm setting, I think, since the county in '98, and that was only for about a month or two. So, being all these years in the cell and on level 4 yards, level 3 yards, in 180s and all that, and dropping down to, a level 2 dorm living, it's nervous, I know I'm definitely going to have to adapt quickly. And I'm just looking to continue graduating from my classes, staying engaged with my groups, and just, just taking it one day at a time, bro. Just staying on this path, my faith, my change, and my recovery, bro.
And let me ask you, so right now, a moment ago, you just mentioned that you drop points and that you're going to be going over to a level 2 yard. I'm assuming this would be the first time that you're going to be reaching that level, because I know you just mentioned that the last time you were in a dorm setting was back in the county jail, and I know like level 4 and level 3 normally they're cell living. Do you do you know, or do you mind sharing where is it that you're possibly going to be going, and are the specific prisons that you might be going to, do they offer any type of specialized programs that you would be interested in taking?
Okay. When I went to board, I came back the same day and I talked to my counselor, and he's talking about sending me to Jamestown to fire camp. It's a level 1 yard, and he's talking about, man, I can override you. We can skip a level 2, and I can get you to a level 1 yard. It's dorm living, though, but I can get you there if you want to. It's kind of far. It's way up north. But, it's a good prison. It'll be good for you, and the way you're going in your recovery and your change. So that's a high possibility that I might go to Jamestown to that fire camp. And a level 1, to be bypass from a level 2 to a level 1, that speaks volumes. Like, I never thought that, a CDCR counselor would be willing to help me out in getting me there, but again, it's just like, if you do the right thing, continue to do the right thing, good things will happen, and so I'm thinking about that, that's a high possibility for me. I know my other second choice might be Ironwood. It's a level 2. It is cell living, but there's one thing that I've been doing all these years is trying to break those old habits, trying to get out of my comfort zone. Like, I don't want to be stuck. Like, I don't want to get out institutionalized. I do my very best not to be institutionalized. So I'm really thinking about going to Jamestown to try that out and see what it has to offer and bring me in my life. And, those are the 2 places I'm thinking about going.
And right now, I'm excited for you. You being
Yeah,
able to, getting down to a level one and a level two. But at that time too, I'm also excited for myself and for the channel because if you're gonna go somewhere else, then you're gonna be able to,
yeah,
possibly, connect with other people that are on the same path as you. And I would love to talk to these gentlemen too. So, with that, with your
absolutely.
great news, then that means great
Esta
news.
llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
That also means great news for
Absolutely.
us, because we're gonna be able to bring in some
Absolutely.
different perspectives, from lower levels. So, definitely looking forward to that, and hopefully, it happens sooner than later. And man, I
And,
can't I can't wait.
yeah, I've been asking a lot of questions around guys who've been there, and I'm getting a lot of positive feedback from it. You know what I mean? They're like, especially guys like you who are lifers who are going aboard. Like, there's like, they got so many groups over there. So many guys are getting found suitable in parole. Lifers are going home. A lot of guys around here are like, yeah, Gary, take it, go. You know what I mean? Go, you're gonna love it. And so man, I'm really really leaning forward to Jamestown. The only thing that's putting a pin in that is it's so far away. It's way up north, you know, and that's the only thing. It's just, but hey, if it's going to help me on my path, you know what I mean, and my recovery and me going home, I'm doing it. Hands down, I'm doing it.
And I think, I mean, this is just a thought. I'm not sure, if this is correct the way I'm thinking, but I'm thinking, you're going to go to a lower level, and then the counselors, or the board of paroles, that's going to be a factor, with them deciding, whether you go home or not, so that's
Absolutely.
only going to help, your case, and strengthen the possibility of you coming home sooner than later. So, definitely looks good. It's like
Absolutely.
it's like a resume. You're putting that on your resume, and they're gonna look at that, and they have to be impressed with, with being able to, get all the way from level 4. You're gonna be all the way down to level 1. So, it's only gonna help you.
No, absolutely. Especially in my situation with everything's been happening these past couple of years, me getting, yes, you're going home, no, you're not going home. Like, I've ran into a couple of guys, as I shared before, and they just threw in the towel. They just said, "Fuck this, what's this all for?" And they just went back to that old lifestyle. You know what I mean? But I continued. I continued. Yes, it was rough, but I told myself a long time ago, no matter what, man, I'm like, I'm doing this for me. Like, yeah, I want to go home. Yeah, I want to go out there, but at the end of the day, I'm doing this for me to better my life, better me, and if me going home is the cherry on top of the cake, then hell yeah, I'm for it. You know?
Yeah, and then the audience is, expressing some concern. So we
Le
have
queda un restante de 60 segundos.
uh
Right.
so yeah, they're expressing some concerns. Like, we got a Mad Max 408 right here, and he says, there's also cons about hitting a level 2. That dorm living is different. Just be careful, Gary. But I know you're gonna be okay, no matter where you go.
Yeah. Yeah. Trust me, I've been hearing a lot of those his concerns. I've been hearing a lot about it. This, that, but just like, what I mean? I can't let that. What I mean? Like, I'm pretty sure it's totally different out there. So if I can just maybe get a taste of it, a little bit of discomfort, maybe things, what I mean? Then maybe it'll help me out. Maybe it'll strengthen me.
If you
I
if you
know.
if you want to go ahead and give us a call back, we're down to like about 10 seconds.
All right, no problem.
Yeah, so yeah, I would have those concerns too. Yeah, because obviously, they run a different program at these lower levels. But the way I look at it is, he's already been down so long that he should be able to navigate, any issues, that might come his way. Hopefully they don't, and nothing comes up. But he's pretty much at the finish line. He would by the time he wouldn't. I don't think he would be there more than a year. So if he's been down so long, then he should be able to navigate this without any issue. He's practically, he just has to cross the finish line. So hopefully, he is able to make some good connections and a good support system that are going to encourage him, to do the right thing and keep him on the right path and hold them accountable. I think that's one of the biggest things that his support group offers is, they.
This call is now
Este
being
es
recorded.
Global Telling. Usted tiene una llamada prepagada de
Gary.
un preso recluido de la prisión estatal de Cella, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el 5. Gracias por utilizar Global Telling.
Hello, Gary.
Hello. Yes, sir.
All right. So Marlene put a message on here. She says that you're gonna miss clowning with Javier.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna miss a couple of guys right here, man. Javi's my boy. Javi's cool people, man.
Yeah.
I like Javi, man.
He's always in a good mood, man. Always in a good mood. I could talk to him for hours and upon hours, and the time would just fly by,
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you guys in the
right.
same building or a different building?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's a couple steps down from me. I'm about to see him right now in a little bit. We're about to head out today. We're about to see him right now in a little bit.
Oh, okay. All right. Nice. Are you going to be watching the game today?
Yeah. Absolutely. I like football, man. I'm a football guy. Absolutely. All right.
Who are you going to be going for? The Cowboys or the Lions?
America's team. We're going for America's team. Not Cowboys. Going for America's team.
That's right. But you're a Steelers fan, right?
Yeah, I am a Steelers fan, but today I'm going for America's team.
All right.
All right.
So if anybody's
keeping
wondering,
it real. Just keeping it real. Yeah.
If anybody was wondering, that what the black and yellow was for, yeah, it's confirmed now. It's for the it's to represent the Steelers. Yeah. So a lot of these guys,
Steelers fan. Don't hang on Steelers.
That's right, Gary.
All right.
And last time I had you on, what was it, like 2 weeks ago, I think, if I'm not mistaken. I sent you I sent you a copy of like all the text messages right
Esta
in the
llamada
chat.
y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
I sent you a screenshots, right, of like the messages people were putting on the okay. Yeah, so I'm gonna be doing the same thing again. So once we wrap up this call, I'll take pictures and whatnot, so like that you can see exactly what everybody was saying in the chat. It adds a little bit of a more personal element to these lives. So definitely want you guys to be able to see what people are saying.
Yep, absolutely. Thank you, man, and thank you for having me today, man. And hopefully I cleared that up, or so with the question they have, the person out in Florida, man. Hopefully I give a little bit more clarification to what SNY and actors means and all that.
Now you definitely shed some light, and I'm pretty sure that clarified a lot of questions for people, but I'm sure it'll bring some other questions, so definitely keep me on speed dial, and like that we could go ahead and touch on any other questions that might arise from this topic.
No, absolutely. If anybody has anything, questions, anything you want to ask me, any concerns you want to shoot my way, maybe you want to share some knowledge, I'm more than willing.
And also, so if anybody has, or if there's anybody out there that doesn't feel comfortable either, asking any questions, on the chat or even calling, you do have that option of, reaching out to Gary directly through the GTL Getting Out app. And I've actually made a video, a small tutorial that might help you navigate, setting up that account and looking for these gentlemen that you want to reach out to. And you could connect to him directly, and he could go ahead and answer or if you want to provide with any feedback, and he'll be able to answer any of those questions, on a personal level.
Absolutely. And I'm looking forward to the new year, man. It's hopefully the new year brings great things for everybody out there. Happy New Year, man. God bless you guys. Be safe. No drinking and driving. None of that. You know what I mean? Be safe, man. Be responsible. I wish you guys all a Happy New Year, man. God bless you all.
And let me ask, because we still have a few more minutes. We'll go ahead and just we'll let the unless you gotta go already, because I know you said you were gonna go to the day room.
No,
okay.
I'm good.
Okay, so
I'm good, bro.
And do you have any plans? Any plans for like 2024? Like anything new you wanna that you wanna focus on? Maybe picking up a different language, or I don't know. So some plans. Maybe reading a book. Do you have any plans for 2024?
Yeah. I've got like 4 books I need to read. I knocked out one of them already. I'm reading another one on boundaries. A friend of mine sent that to me. It's a great book. You know what I mean? So I'm going to read these 3 books, and I want to write another tutorial about, the boundaries that I didn't have within certain family members of mine. You know what I mean? Things that I failed to establish early on in my life, and I allowed those things to just, become normalized to me. And so that's what I'm working on. I'm working on graduating, my DRP class. You know what I mean? Hopefully in May I graduate that. I'm working on starting the second part of that group. You know what I mean? So I'm working on graduating ARC. The gangs awareness and preparing for board. So yeah, I'm involved in a lot of stuff right now that I'm looking forward to. Prison fellowship. Looking forward to going back there and graduating that. But the main thing is me sitting down, reading these books, and putting that pen to paper and just writing. You know what I mean? The things that I've been through, the things I failed to see, the things I failed to do, the relationships that I should have, kept at a distance. The relationships I developed within my family, and so that's definitely. It's not easy. You know what I mean? It's gonna be difficult. To sit down and write that stuff and dig deep, but. I'm looking forward to it because it's the right thing to do, and I have to do it. So, those are the things that I'm looking forward to right now, like within the next couple of months.
And you mentioned you were going to be reading a new book about boundaries. I don't think that you mentioned the book name, or at least I didn't catch it. If you wouldn't mind sharing the name of the book that you're going to be reading for boundaries.
It's by Dr. Henry Cloud, and Dr. John Townsend. It's called Boundaries. When to say yes, how to say no, to take control of your life. And so that's what I'm reading right now. It's a great book. You know what I mean? It gives especially for those believers out there, who are in the faith, it gives a lot of excerpts from the Bible. It breaks it down. You know what I mean? And so it's a great book. And a friend of mine sent it to me, and I'm very thankful she did.
And
hello?
Do you have any? Yeah, sorry, I was eating something really quick right now while you were speaking, and I put you on mute.
It's lunchtime. It's lunchtime, dude.
My wife bought me breakfast right now, so I gotta eat it because now she's gonna come check up on me, and she's gonna be like, your food's gonna be cold, or tell me something. Yeah. So just eat it now, and like that I don't catch any blowback from her. Hopefully she's not listening, because then I have another pending issue. But do you have any other books that you could recommend? Besides the one that you have planned right now, that maybe you've read in the past that helped you with your thought process, or changing the way you think.
The books. Okay, I got one. It's called Stand Up for Yourself, Set Boundaries, and Stop Pleasing Others by Patrick King. That's a good book.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
And one that everybody knows, the Bible. Great book. Got to read that. I read that twice. And anything focus on, like, anger management, domestic violence, anything of that nature, especially especially if you live that destructive lifestyle with beliefs. There's a lot of material on that. You know what I mean? The conscience. There's a great book that I read It was called the Power of the Subconscious Mind. I can't remember the author right now, but that's another great book to read.
And and
Hello?
yeah, I had you on mute again, so I gotta press the
Yeah.
button before I could start
Okay.
talking. So, but I'm here, I'm
Yeah.
here, Gary. And what I was
Yeah.
gonna say was, I really appreciate you sharing those books and whatnot, and I want to share something with you, and I want to go ahead and thank you because
Yeah.
having this conversation with you and all these gentlemen, it's really helping me, to get out of my shell and to speak, because I've never been
Absolutely.
big on expressing myself and being a public speaker, but these months and months of talking to you guys day in and day out has really helped me be comfortable in holding conversations and speaking. So it's been huge for me, also you guys are sharing your stories with us, and then you guys are helping me also better the way better myself by the way I communicate.
Yeah. Oh man, you're welcome, bro. Thank you, man. Thank you for allowing us this platform, bro. You know what I mean? Because I definitely came out my shell a lot doing this. You know what I mean? Talking to you and knowing that the world is hearing it. I mean, it was daunting at first. Yeah, it was nerve wracking, scary, but thank you for allowing us to conquer that fear, so to speak, and to put ourselves out there, bro. You helped us out a lot too, man. Thank you, bro.
Yeah, man, you appreciate it, man. I remember, when this was just a thought in my mind, and I'm like, man, like, what am I gonna talk about? Like, I've never been to prison. How am I gonna start a YouTube channel? And I don't have that experience. I could only talk.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
I could only talk about my experiences, only to a certain point, and I was fortunate enough,
Yeah.
come across you guys and make that connection, and you guys, being able to be able to shed insight on the journey that you guys have gone through, and uh
Yeah.
where you guys are at now, in your life. So um I,
Hey,
I,
absolutely.
yeah, I hear a lot of
Hey.
commotion out there. You're on the day room already.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
right.
I
Yeah.
walked out. I'm out here in the day room. I don't see Javi though. I gotta find him.
Oh, you know what?
Oh, he stood in. Javi stood in. Oh man. Hey. Hey, is he
He's
calling
probably
you right now?
he's probably
Hey.
sleeping. He's probably taking a cat nap right now.
Yeah. More than likely he is. He's taking a cat nap.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah. So I'm out here in the day room, take it with the guys, relax, see what's on, see what we can get into.
That's right. That's right. All right then. So
Yeah.
we're down to about 3
All right,
minutes.
brother.
Is there anything else you want to say to our
Yes.
audience before we conclude the call?
Just just thank you for tuning in, for supporting the podcast, man, for supporting all of us. I appreciate it tremendously. Thank you. Happy New Year to everybody. God bless you guys. Be safe. Be responsible. No drinking and driving, none of that stuff. And just have fun, man. Have fun with your wife, your husband, your kids, your family. Just enjoy each other's company, man, and be safe. Happy New Year.
All right, perfect. Hey, thank you. Really appreciate it. And you go ahead and enjoy the day room, and hopefully the Cowboys win today.
You too, bro. You too. Yeah, exactly. America's team. That's America's team right there. Hey, Happy New Year's, bro. Hey, Happy New Year's, James. You know what I mean? God bless you guys, man.
Happy New Year to you too. We'll be in contact.
Absolutely, bro. All right, I'll see you then.
All right,
I look
thank you.
forward to it.
All right, bye.
All right, brother. All right, bye-bye.
And before I cut the stream, I want to go ahead and thank you guys, and I also want to mention that I believe like at about 2 o'clock, I'm gonna be having our newest guest, coming on today. We started phone calls with him yesterday, and we got in about 2 hours, so we're gonna go ahead and continue, with this journey. We're probably gonna take it back a little bit because we kind of. Or he went through it a little bit. He kind of glossed over, what led him up to, getting, to prison. So we might be taking it back to, to the early years and touch on points that he feels that are important, within his journey. And that's gonna be at about 2 o'clock, 2:30. I'll go ahead and make what is it, a placeholder, I guess I could say, for that stream, and I really appreciate you guys, tuning in, and Gary's family, also huge support. Really appreciate it. And with that, I'm gonna go ahead and cut the stream. But before I do that, life's like a candle. Once you blow it, that's it. It's lights out. And with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and cut the stream. I'll see you guys shortly.